Hey guys, here we go. It's Friday evening. This is your weekly dose of me. For those of you who don't know who I am or have just sort of stumbled upon this video, my name's Tony K, and I have struggled with an eating disorder for about 11 years. And I began this video diary vlog journal thing as a way to keep myself accountable as I tried to gain weight and put myself back on sort of the straight and narrow in terms of my health, both mentally, emotionally and physically. For the last year I've been doing this, and up until about 6 months ago I was doing really well. And then I introduced exercise into my I guess my life again, and exercise has always been a big trigger for me, and unfortunately it was my undoing in a sense, and it brought me back down to a very low weight, or at least 5 to 10 kilos under where I feel is probably healthy for me and my body, and knowing my body and my mind and how well I function. And anyone who's seen these videos, me at those weights, can attest. And people who know me in my real life outside of the internet know that at that kind of weight I am sort of firing on all cylinders, so to speak. That being said, stumble, fell, and I'm now in the process of picking myself up and starting that journey once again. And here I am with these video journals and vlogs as a way again to keep myself accountable, to celebrate the wins, to reflect on the losses, and to really keep myself focused on the goal at hand. That being not necessarily trying to gain weight this time, but more so about eating and living in a way that I want, rather than how I've allowed myself to live. And that's being spontaneous eating out, eating scary foods, eating too much, eating different things here and there and everywhere. And I know that the weight will come eventually and will come on as it does, but I thought making the focus not so much about gaining weight, but more about the lifestyle and the reasons and the values behind all of it, carving out that niche that I've wanted for myself for so long. I think that's a better focus. But anyway, for any of you for those of you who don't know, you're about to see me naked. I apologise in advance. And then you'll see me jump on the scale, and you'll see the sort of the weekly weigh-in, and then I'll come back and I might share with you a few little wins that I've chalked up over the week that I'm pretty proud of myself. So I'll see you guys just in a sec. Well, so you guys can see that there's been, I guess, a drop in weight, and as I said in my last video, stopped exercising, push-ups and all that kind of jazz has ceased, and it was really difficult for me the last, it's the first couple of days in not doing any of that exercise. As little as it was, like literally as 5-10 minutes that it was, it was incredibly difficult, and I sat on the verges of panic attacks for about 3 days, and I even took a little bit of extra time off work outside of my holidays to get myself into a space where I felt a bit more normal and okay. And so at the moment I'm feeling not too bad, but again, I guess, with the weight drop, it's easy to feel that way, because there's that security, that sense of I haven't gained weight, I haven't gotten fat, I don't look a certain way, that doesn't mean X, Y, and Z. I don't necessarily feel terribly uncomfortable. But I must admit that the first maybe 3 or 4 days were very difficult and very intense for me. And a lot of that was the sort of the figments of my imagination and the stories that I was telling myself. And it was a matter of just trying to push through those moments and find whatever I could to try and get me through those moments and those days. And that included, I guess, a lot of sleeping, and sort of pottering around, bouncing from one thing to another, trying not to exercise. I must admit that the first day or so I wasn't as successful as I would have liked to have been. That I did sort of break here and there, but it wasn't like I'm going to do this for half an hour right now. It was kind of just random little drop down and give me 10, give me 15, give me 20, just stupid things like that to try and, I don't know, make myself feel better, or because it was such an intense feeling at the time. But following that, it's just been a non-event, which has been really cool. Like, it's been a very interesting kind of transition where it sort of was, for a couple of days, really intense, and then all of a sudden, nothing. So, yeah, just a little observation. But something I did want to share with you guys was the fact that I went and had KFC for lunch again. I thought I'd tackle that for this week, as I did the week prior, and probably will keep doing something like that. Just sort of big challenges like that where I'll go out and do something kind of very much outside of my norm, and with friends and socially, because that's the reason why I'm doing it, not so much just to go and do it on my own. And being social, I'm a little bit more forced to do it, in the sense that I have to make the commitment, and then there's someone there that kind of makes me follow through with it. And then a day or 2 days later, I went out again and was in a food court and had planned not to eat out. Again, fear-based and anxiety-based, and maybe not a great day for me, or just not feeling confident, or what was happening. But talking through it with my friend that I was with, and telling her about this, that, and whatever in terms of my illness and why I was doing what I was doing and what I was trying to achieve. Kind of talking out loud really made a difference, because I was able to go, what the fuck am I doing? This is ridiculous. Stuff this. And went and got a kebab. And that's probably the first kind of, I guess, kebab I've had in a while. I guess I've been avoiding those as well, and that's been really cool. And that was a spontaneous thing and a value-driven thing, which is really important. And I know, as I say it now, I'm kind of like, this is stupid, it's a fucking kebab, who gives a crap? But for me, it was a bit of a deal, because it was spontaneous, it was outside my plan, and it was very much in line with the kind of lifestyle that I want to have. You go out with friends, you're hanging out, you go and get lunch, you go and get something to eat. And I chose something that I wanted. So it's amazing that as I say this, I feel very childlike, and I feel very infantile in my fears and the way I'm talking about this. Almost like I want a pat on the head for doing good. That kind of eternal, sort of that paternal gratification, that need for the congratulatory sort of, I guess, pat on the head, or the good job tone, validating what I've done. And I guess it's just interesting how it's sort of feeling where I am at the moment. I feel very childlike. At 29 years of age, I feel about 10. Something in that perhaps. But anyway, and then tonight, being Friday night, I think it's really good that I did it tonight, because I decided to have pizza for dinner. And any of you who sort of would have seen my last video would know that I was spontaneous and had like a burger for dinner sort of thing last week. And today I made the conscious decision to go, you know what, I always avoid pizza because I keep telling myself I don't like it. And that's, I don't find it terribly satisfying, but it was really nice, and I really wanted to do it purely for the value-driven thing. Is I want to be able to sit down with my family and do that, or go out with friends and do that, and I don't want it to be a big deal. And it was more about the act of doing rather than what it was I was doing, if that makes sense. It was the kind of the value behind it, and the reason and the meaning that it held. So yeah, that's been a sort of 3 wins in about 4 days, which has been a sort of a big deal for me, because it's kind of been a bang 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 kind of thing. And then tomorrow I'll do something again, when I'm sort of going out for dinner with my family, which will be something that I would have avoided, or something I would have eaten beforehand in the last few months, to try and avoid putting on weight, gaining weight, feeling fat, gross, and whatever else. Yeah, not doing that. So it's been a tough week, but a good week, and a good sort of starting point. And it feels very much like how I was proceeding the last time, which in my head feels good because I know that I was doing well, but also in my head feels very terrifying because I know that weight gain comes with that, and then I know that's when things get very rocky. But again, like I said, making a commitment and setting a goal. My goal is really to get to a better weight, and whatever that is, 80, 83, whatever it is, it's probably around there. And I know that I don't feel great around there, but it's getting there and holding it for about a year. Not a couple of months, not a couple of weeks, not getting there and going, oh, I feel fat, gross, and whatever, I want to feel better about myself, and then making an excuse to exercise. But getting there, feeling fat, gross, and whatever, and letting it become the normal sort of feeling, not the negative feeling, but letting my body and getting used to it. Like I got used to being skinny. Like I get used to eating food. Like I get used to challenging behaviors and doing the opposites to those things, and they become the norm, and it's no longer a scary deal. So, and I know there's research and whatever else to do with holding strong for a year. So that's my goal when I kind of get to that weight, is kind of holding that weight for a year, and in the process of doing that, really carving out that kind of lifestyle I want. Not making it about so much gaining a certain amount of weight, but eating the way I want, eating the things I want, and letting kind of the cards, or the chips rather, fall where they may in terms of weight and weight gain. And obviously if I need to put on some weight, then I'll be kind of upping the intake of food, because I need to do that. But yeah, sort of shifting focus, shifting kind of, I guess, what the reasons and what the goal is, I guess, in terms of this. Anyway, yeah, so I'll cut this one short. But that's me, that's this week. It's been pretty good. So stay tuned for next week when I come back with more stories of stuff that I've done or haven't done or whatever. I don't know. But I'll see you guys really soon. I love you. And for anyone who else is new or hasn't seen this before, thanks for watching, and I hope you stick around to see me rise and hopefully not fall. Who knows? I'll see you guys soon. Bye.